Geopolitical tensions in West Asia have now steered the focus away from the Ukrainian front lines to Iran and Israel. In efforts to revive stalled peace talks and end the war in Ukraine, President Zelensky has now sent a delegation to Miami, hoping to get peace talks back on track. Now, the delegation is leading bilateral talks between the U.S. and Ukraine. The Ukrainian delegation is being led by Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, Rustem Umerov. Meanwhile, the American side is being represented by White House Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. While the first round of negotiations that were held on Saturday saw discussions centered on security agreements, particularly regarding air defense, today's talks will see preparations for future trilateral talks, sanctions against Russia, and further security guarantees. The Ukrainian delegation may also raise the issue of signing an agreement with the U.S. on drone production. Listen to this.
The teams will continue to communicate tomorrow. And the most important thing is to understand how much the Russian side is ready to go to the real end of the war and how much they are ready to do it honestly and with dignity. Especially now when geopolitical problems have only increased due to the Iranian situation.
As per sources, these talks could lay further groundwork for negotiations between Zelensky and Trump himself. Yesterday's talks were hailed by the White House as constructive. The talks in Miami were initially planned to include Russian negotiators and take place in Abu Dhabi. However, the trilateral meeting in the United Arab Emirates was postponed after the outbreak of the Iran conflict. Despite U.S. being occupied with West Asia, Zelensky has argued that the talks must go on. Meanwhile, the Kremlin also expressed concern about the situational pause in negotiations that could risk evaporating the progress. Zelensky's push also comes especially after the U.S. revoked sanctions on Russian oil, which he believes could be detrimental to Ukraine. The suspension is intended to bring down the energy prices that have soared because of the Iran war. Just as talks happened in Miami, the Russian Defense Ministry said its forces had taken control of Potapivka, a tiny village in Ukraine's northern Sumy region. The Russian army has been trying to establish a buffer zone in the Sumy region for months through small localized attacks. Meanwhile, an attack in Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia on Saturday killed a couple and wounded their 2 children.
In Zaporizhzhia, repair works are also ongoing after a strike on an energy facility, and supply is expected to be restored. There were strikes in the Sumy region, the Dnipro region, Donetsk region, and our Kharkiv region. Wherever needed, units of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, emergency and repair crews, and municipal services are operating. Everyone is working.